Watch that finger. It is, let's see, Tuesday night, March 8th, 2022. Welcome, everyone. This is Glenda Carlin, and this is my weekly A Course in Miracles meeting. And welcome, Holy Son of God, Edward, Holy Son of God, Joanna, Holy Son of God, Jeff, Holy Son of God, Joan, Holy Son of God, Francis, Holy Son of God, Nance, Holy Son of God, Gonzalo, Holy Son of God, Sally, Holy Son of God, Eli, Holy Son of God, Julia, Holy Son of God, Teresa, Holy Son of God, Glenda. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you, Helen Schukman, Bill Fedford for A Course in Miracles. Wow, thank you, and thank you, Gary Renard, for his books, Disappearance of the Universe. Thank you, for Holy Spirit. We're inviting Holy Spirit, Jesus, Buddha, enlightened beings, ascended masters, to be here, help us gain insight and have fun, gain understanding. Thank you. And for each one of you for being here and supporting each other, because as our lights join, it helps not just yourself, but the whole world, all sentient beings, everything. This joined light is very, very powerful. Oh, I want to take a moment of silence for peace, for world peace. And it's just not, in Ukraine now, it's kind of overt, but there's different wars and racism and clashes going on throughout the world. I think there's maybe 60 million refugees, meaning people that don't feel safe being where their home was, and they're out looking for safety, refuge from the storm, from the world war, from all the stuff. So we want to take a moment here in silence, and you can visualize your great ray light comes really out your forehead through a third eye. It's not awakened in each of you yet, but just imagine that light's coming out and it beams out and like a funnel. Picture this is like the circle, then flares like a funnel. So just imagine that light now is funneling out to this world, this whole earth world, all countries, and then through all universes, all dimensions of time and space, that we're wishing well to all sentient beings, everything, wishing them to wake up from the nightmare of confusion and ignorance, and from the dream of separation from Source and their brothers. We'll just take a moment here in silence. Okay, thank you for doing that. Okay, now we'll meditate for just a minute or two. Let's see, which one do I want to do? I guess it'll be the Great Ray. You can have your eyes closed or open, but visualize a huge sun above your head. And that sun, S-U-N, represents Source, the living God, the living Tao, the living force, life force that's here now that we're not always aware of. And per Jesus, there's a ray, great ray that comes off that sun that connects each person to eternity. So just see that column or ray of light come down the middle of your head, down through the middle of your body into the ground. And it's actually there. It's literally there. You are that light. That is your light. And just imagine that light is out going down the middle of you, but it radiates out sideways. And there's many dimensions. There's front and back, side to side, up and down. It's radiating out all directions through every cell of you. It's really a hologram that's happening here. There's a big projector behind each of your heads that's projecting. We're really the light, but in the projector, there are these images, a film of light images that are being projected out into the world. And that's each of our forms. But the main thing that we are is the light. If you turn around at a movie theater and turn around And look, that light is pure light. It's just shining straight at the screen. That's God's source light. So that light radiates out the middle. That's why we're turning inward in meditation to your true home, which is this light. And we're just visualizing it now, radiating out every cell. And it's so beautiful, pristine, and loving, you want to rejoin with it. But before you do, I want you to imagine an altar and put on that altar the things you think you need to be happy. We've got Corrine and Debbie joining us. Welcome, Holy Sons of God. We're meditating, so just imagine that altar in your mind and put on that altar the things you think you need to be happy. And then see that altar and your body disappear into that column, that ray of light. Now focus your attention. I find it easier, more and very helpful to focus my eyes up, to look up, focus up like you're looking above your head and imagining and looking at the light there from that point. And you imagine merging with that light. You're rejoining. You've never been separate. It's just in our awareness that we're separate. So we're rejoining, we're remembering. So you focus your attention on it and you merge is one verb, or dissolve. Relax into it, settle in it. We're meditating. We picture that column, that great ray light coming down the middle of you. And above your head is the sun source. Just focus your attention, your attention above your head to that light. And if your mind wanders, which it will, just the way it is, in this practice that I've learned from the Dzogchen Buddhist people is to let thoughts and things come and go. So if a thought of family member or politician or whatever conflict in the world comes to mind, right now in this time and place, we're just going to let the thought go. This doesn't call for any action. Meditation is different. When you get off the Buddha seat or the Christ seat, then you're asking Holy Spirit, guide me what to do or say. But right now we're quieting the mind by focusing on the light that we are. And we're watching the thoughts come and go. We're not pushing them away. That's called aversion. And we're not clinging on to them. That's called attachment. And how you know if you're doing that is if you find yourself following a story, you know, what somebody said or what you said or what was on the news or what a family member did, then we're off on a tangent. We're following a story, a thought that's false. That thought is not you anyway. And another big question is just ask, well, where the hell did these thoughts come from? Well, they're not you. You are the Christ, the Buddha. You are the awareness, the watcher, the observer of the thoughts, which are either from the false egoic thought system that we made up and then allowed it to rule us. We're now taking charge, taking our mind back, called mastery, self-mastery of your mind. Who's in charge here anyway? Who's on first? I mean, really. So that's why you're going to let this thought go. These thoughts go. Now, the other thought system that's real is Holy Spirit. But Holy Spirit is quiet and still. So he won't be saying anything. It's ego chattering away in meditation, typically. So you just let the thoughts come and go like birds in the sky. And the other thing you can focus your attention on, you can look above your head or out. If your eyes are open, it's dark where I'm at. Right above the horizon, you look at the sky. You're just focusing on the sky and letting things come and go like clouds or birds in the sky. It's the same principle. Because those are impermanent thoughts. They are not permanent. They change. That's why they come and go. If you let them be, they'll come and go. If you don't let them be, then you're hanging on, grabbing onto them, going to get rope burn because you've grabbed onto it and you're not letting go. So how Jesus tells us in the Course, how you know that you've grabbed onto something is your feelings, your mood. So we're becoming alert and called mindful of what the hell, how we feel, and what we're thinking. Before, all these thoughts were just going, and then knee jerk, we'd be doing stuff. Now, if you meditate, and I highly recommend daily meditation for more than 30 minutes or an hour daily, is you'll be able to see thoughts come and go. You'll see one and you'll recognize when you grabbed onto one and you'll let it go. Then what happens as you live out in the world, you'll start to let things come and go in front of you. You're not automatically knee-jerk commenting on something. You're letting things come and go, and you're developing what's called a sacred pause. There's a gap. There's a pause here that you can develop, and it can become quite a stillness that you rest in the stillness, and you just let this stuff come and go. So I'll be quiet here just a minute. So you just focus your attention on that light and rest in it or dissolve into it. Oh, the other thing I forgot to say is to relax. What happens is during the day, if you find yourself nervous or even prior to meditation or during meditation, you can take a breath in. You just take a big breath from your belly and hold it for a second or two and exhale, saying A-H, totally relaxing. That A-H syllable relaxes the form, the mind, everything relaxes. You can shrug your shoulders. You can, shake your head around. You're relaxing the form. And so during meditation, you're not like a wooden Buddha, a wooden Christ. You can move around and readjust, take a breath in, take a breath out as you find yourself getting caught up on a thought or a story. Now, the object is also just that you're in control of the body. You're not letting the body do what the hell it wants. You're telling it, we're going to shift seats in the chair, or I'm going to move my arm or something. That besides, last week I talked about that when the corner turned, when I started to reason with myself, sorting things from true and false. But the second huge thing that happened was when I started meditating, because then the body has to be in a chair or on a cushion and hold still, which it's not used to doing. So you're become a master of the body, which is an image in the mind, and we think we're bodies, so we're experiencing we're a body, and we never ever harm our body or put it in harm's way. The other thing is you're taking charge of your mind. So that's what's so great about meditation. I know there's a big controversy about it, but I'm just explaining I would not be here where I'm at without daily meditation, because you just can't practice the truths in the Course. You can think one in a lesson, but you will forget to go practice 10 minutes later or half an hour later because you're not in charge of your mind. Ego is. Okay, so now you can bring yourself back to this place, your attention back to this place, but can always go to that light during the day to just rest there for a minute. And of course, it's very difficult to rest in something that's invisible. That's why I also say to picture that you've got the Holy Spirit's got like a pitcher of yellow cake batter, pouring it down the middle of your head, and it comes down the middle of you. And yellow cake batter gives you a texture, a thickness, particles, a texture that you can get your teeth into. Kind of, it's all, and pour it, and then it flows all around you, out you. Then you got something to rest in, to sit in, lay in it, be in it. These are words that you will learn to do. Be in it, just be. How the hell do you do that? How do I just be? Well, you visualize this golden light that's here, and you just sit in it. Picture you're just sitting in that yellow cake batter or resting in it. It becomes a habit, because as you meditate, you practice this because you want to feel the peace of God. That's the purpose of the course. Course in Miracles is to get the peace of God. And you sense it and you feel it and you get it more and more. So you know this is working, or you wouldn't still be practicing A Course in Miracles and reading parallel books like Renard's books. And I'm reading this Lama Surya Das books and practicing Dzogchen truths that parallel the course. That's where I learned about just rest in it. I hadn't thought about it. You can rest in the light. That's amazing. But yes, you can rest in the light. Oh, and you can rest in a sound. See, in this week's email, one of the things I'm looking back and reflecting, see, Jesus talks about in the course, as you move along and do the lessons, once in a while you reflect on it, where you've been and what teachings you've kind of are assimilating and practicing in your life. And I look back on what's been happening in the last few months is this sound of silence gets purer and quieter and clearer, because as my mind, I gain mastery of my mind over the thoughts of letting them come and go, and practicing Jesus's advanced forgiveness, which means we look past the body to the invisible spirit that's here, or we say, you are spirit, whole, pure, and innocent, all is forgiven and released to every person or situation. And to yourself, you say, I am a mortal spirit. This body is a false image and has nothing to do with what I am. And by the way, if anybody's listening to this later on YouTube and don't have my 4-page advanced forgiveness document that I composed from the course in Gary Renard's books, just message me on Facebook, and I will give me your email address and I'll email it. But with advanced forgiveness and meditation, letting these thoughts come and go, your mind gets stiller and stiller and stiller. It is amazing. It's miraculous. It's called A Course in Miracles. It is. It is miraculous, magical light, because you just come to a clear, pure mind, a Christ mind, a Buddha mind, and you're not falling for ego's thoughts. You're not having these knee-jerk reactions, or if you do, you're coming off of them quicker. That's the other thing that happens as you do all this. That's how you know you're making progress. You're not staying in the chaos as long. You come back out of it easier, quicker. So and also I turn my day over to Holy Spirit each morning during the day, as often as I can remember. Holy Spirit, you're in charge. You be the boss. Guide me what to do or say. And now when I go to sleep at night, I'm asking Holy Spirit, please take charge of my nighttime dreams, just like you're doing my daytime dreams. Because I turn it, when I say, Holy Spirit, you're in charge, I just was, thinking about daytime. But now nighttime dreams are dreams as well. Jesus says we're always just serial dreaming. That's all we're doing. But you can be lucid and awake in a dream too. And when I went and recapped some different days last week, I had one night, I had 2 dreams, and they were both basically the same. And except one, they both were the same in that I was aware that I was saying to myself, I want to awaken within the dream, and I want to grasp that I'm awake during it. Now picture what that means. I want to awaken from within the dream. Within the dream, see, we're a body. Our body image is within the dream, within the sitcom, the hallucination, the movie. You're the main character. Jesus says that. You're the hero of the dream. Each of you are your own main character in the dream. So I'm saying I want to awaken from within the dream, and I want to grasp that I'm awake. And what that means is when I'm walking around here, I will put my attention behind my head, and I'll see that Glenda's walking around doing her morning walk. Glenda's sitting in her chair meditating. I'm not kidding. Before she starts to meditate, oh, there's Glenda going to meditate in her chair. And Glenda's watching TV. Glenda's hearing Zoom class. Now, but then when I go into the meditation, it's my awareness, which is really your Christ self and Buddha self, then is aware of what's going on in your meditation. Because it's not, so who's watching that? Who's watching those thoughts or recognizing, I don't want to think that, that thought, I'm not glued to that thought. I'm going to let that thought pass. Who's doing that? Well, that's your Christ self. That's your Buddha self. It's a big deal. It's your awareness. You're awakening your awareness from being asleep to this awakened Christ Buddha awareness. And you're awakening your mind from being asleep to that you can choose your thoughts and look out and see the clear golden light of God radiating everywhere. It's clear, but it's golden. So it's a little tint to it so you can see it. But meantime, this space you look out and see, that's God light. It's clear. And it's a reflection of the clear mind that you got. What you see in your mind is what you'll see out there. So as your mind gets clearer, once in a while, you'll glimpse the clear light. You'll look past the form and see that clear spirit, or you'll think about it. You'll be able to just focus on it, think about it. That's the precursor to seeing it, is you're just thinking, you're standing there silently, looking at the person, and you're looking, like Jesus says, you look beyond the body, and he says, past the body. Those are great verbs, past the body, beyond the body. It's huge. And that clear space, emptiness, is God, clear light that's here now, that we're each not aware of 24/7. Well, anyway, I forget what I was going to tell you. Oh, so the dreams were, I was aware I was dreaming. And I was telling myself, I want to awake within the dream, the things that I'm saying out loud during the day to myself. I'm saying in my dream at night, I want to wake within the dream, and I want to grasp that I'm dreaming. And later, when I recognized I was dreaming, I was going to write it down because I can forget what the heck they are. I went, whoa, this is great. This maybe my nighttime dream is going to start being kind of lucid, like my daytime dream. And it will. It will, because you're taking charge of your mind. So I'm just here as an example of what possibly could happen, because you may go faster at it, because with what I'm saying, I really feel like you go straighter down the path. I was wandering around quite a bit, so I'm giving you hopefully some more straightforward route on the deal. Now, So I look back, reflecting on what's going on, is that I am aware that I am the dreamer of the dream, as Jesus puts it, that the projector's behind me. Now, what's got really weird one day, these are just thoughts coming to me, I'm not going here in really sequence. See, I'm practicing this. This is what I'm asking you all to do too, is because this takes you out of the body. It takes you off thinking you're a body. You're picturing the projector back there, and it's got the big beam of light, and there's images it's projected. So I forget, prior to a meditation or during, I forget which way this was, I was focused, I was looking at that projector, and I was seeing it project light through my body. Because see, that's the other thing I think about is And it's true. We're like a hologram, that projected light. That light is all radiating out of every one of your forms. There's just barely a faint little image there of a form. But to us, it's very rigid and very thick. But in reality, it's not. It's a faint little image. So I'm picturing the projectors back there, and it's projecting the light through me. And I'm going, well, I really like experiencing that. But I am not kidding you. And again, I swear I'm not on any drugs. I take Tylenol once in a while. I am on no hallucinogenic drugs or anything, any sort. I am not kidding you. What showed up in front of me was an image of me, Glenda. And Glenda was facing me. And I am not kidding. I am looking at it. And same body, same clothes that I had on right then, same gray hair, same face. And I'm looking at it. Oh, and it's facing me. The image is, the body of Glenda is facing me. That's really when it came to me. Wow, that projector thing that Jesus uses in the Course, that these are projections, that is the correct word. We are projecting from the Christ mind. We use the Christ mind. Now, and then this was what came to me. Now, each of you can get your own interpretation or understanding, but this is what's coming to me. So the Christ, the Son of God. Oh, and why this came to me is a few weeks back, remember, I found the paragraph where Jesus says the pre-separation state condition in the Garden of Eden. Now, what the heck is he's calling the Garden of Eden or the pre-separation condition? And that made me start thinking pre-separation. So I realized what happened. The Son of God created the Garden of Eden. Flowers, trees, a garden, the Garden of Eden. And he did it by projecting images out of his mind. These were images, flowers, trees, same images that are here now, but we don't know that this is the same Garden of Eden, but we're asleep to it and we kind of destroyed it. Man has. But anyway, so, and there were Adam and Eve in there, right? The two bodies. So that was the pre-separation condition, was everything was light. The Son of God was back here and he was projecting the images. He was watching them. He was watching this movie. He was not in the movie yet. He was the watcher. He was the Christ, the Holy Son of God. But remember what Jesus says in the Course, he only says one thing. He says the single mad idea that the Son of God forgot to laugh about. Well, what came to me, now you can get your own interpretation, but what came to me was the Holy Son of God was watching the Garden of Eden. He was watching all the flowers, the trees, and the two people. And he loved it so much. Here's the single mad idea. He wondered, what would it be like to be in that body and experience the garden? And he forgot to laugh. And wham, his spirit went into that body and went to sleep, because you can't have duality. You became in a form. He then blew life. Then that's the thing that came up this week. Look, what Jesus is so subtle with this, but anyway, you can take your own, but here's what's coming. He said, where's he go? Where's he go about the blown up images? Realize blown up children's toys. But now this can be, here we go. It's in chapter 30, section IV, that's 4 sentence. Paragraph 2. The wearying, dissatisfying gods you made are blown up children's toys. A child is frightened when a wooden head springs up as a closed box is opened suddenly, or when a soft and silent woolly bear begins to squeak as he takes hold of it. He misunderstood what made him safe and thought that it had left. No, this piece. The thing is, look what he called them, blown up children's toys. So he blew the breath of life into that form. And so with breath comes in duality, in, out. And that's why then the great ray has to come in and out. We think we're a body. Heartbeat's got to be in and out. It's all duality. He blew up his toys, the images he saw, and made them real to himself. He put himself in the dream, which is what we have done. We are waking up and we'll be no longer part of the dream. You'll be back here in the projector. You're the projector. You're the Christ, the Buddha. You'll be awake. And then you're watching, like Nance will be watching her body walking around. There's Nance. Nance's eating dinner. Nance is cooking. Or plus, you can still have fun. You can do anything you want, except you now realize you're not a body. You are free. You're still as God created you. You're not this projection. You're not this image. So that's how that came about. Okay. Now, the other predominant thing that's happening in my meditations in the last, it's the last month is, and see, at the beginning of meditation, I will say to myself when my eyes are closed, and I forget to say this to y'all, I have no expectations about what the light's going to do or my breath is going to do. And I say that because if I look back on what things Holy Spirit presents to me, I can think, well, I'd like to see that again. There's some beautiful lights and beautiful things, but that's like having expectations out. And that doesn't mean we can't plan our budgets, go have a grocery list, can't do our wellness fitness with the doctor. I am a practical person. Middle of the way is me. I am not going off either side of the road into the ditch of being pure this, only doing that, only focused on spirituality and forgetting paying my bills, taking care of my family, maintaining my house, sweeping my floor, whatever. This is called the middle way. You're practical. But what I realize, so I say to myself, I have no expectations because the breath, as I meditate, the breath will do different things. The breath comes in and out, but it will join with the living force that's here and move in a circle in front of me, the length of my body. And it's really beautiful. It's a rocking, cradling union. It's a union with this, with the breath of Holy, I don't know, whatever it is. It's called the response, the call and the response. But anyway, or the light images show up my mind. And so I just relax, and I just relax. And before I know it, usually the great ray will come in and go out of my head and cause my head to either move back and forth, because see, when it comes in and it has another movement out, it rocks. It makes a movement. It's in and out. Sometimes it's smoother. But the thing is, because we're in a body, we believe we're like in wherever, and we're in the United States or Canada, and we're in this Earth planet, we're in this universe. There's certain dimensions, directions we think we're in: up, down, right, left, forward, and backward. When I look back on what Holy Spirit's done with me, He's had my vision and my breath will go a certain direction. It'll go to the right, meaning my head's actually pulled to the right. And I'm just, my vision, meaning I just can only say my vision. I'm just watching. Usually in the mind, it's not got any colors. It's black, but then things start to show up. I just remain at rest and let it go. But see, it's going here to this side. And in the Course, there's a paragraph that says, you have found your brother and you will light each other's way. And from that light, the great rays will shine away the past and make room for His eternal presence, which in which everything's radiant in the light. Shine away the past. That's been for years. The great ray goes to the left. Evidently, in our unconscious mind, to the left is the past thoughts. And then to the right is clearing to make room for God's presence. It's clearing my mind to the right. Well, then what happens though, sometimes my whole body is pulled upward, stretched, I call it stretch, and sometimes it's pushed. Not that often is it pushed down. It was only this last week, it started, Holy Spirit pushing my body, pushing my mind down, but it would make it go forward and backwards. See, those are directions. Those are all the directions that are being purified in my mind, so that my mind, the unconscious mind, and I don't understand this really. I just am explaining that I get it, that I think those directions are real, were real, but Holy Spirit's cleaning them up. There are no directions. And that could be there is no world. What he's doing is from the Course, again, Jesus says the whole Course, the purpose of the Course is there is no world, meaning these images we think of up, down, right, left, gravity, all that. Now, we never put our body in harm's way, never, ever. But that's being purified into the point where then a person can more, where I can more be aware of Glenda's image and not be attached to it. But I keep it clean, feed it, you know, all those things. I never neglect my form. Besides, I want to present a good image for Holy Spirit. You guys, when like I came here, no, not clean hair, right? That's funny. Now, oh, so the other thing that's doing is, I only got this in the last month, is the beginning, where Jesus says, your starting point is truth, and you must return to your beginning. Now, see, the beginning was the pre-separation condition of the Garden of Eden. In that pre-separation condition, you are in charge of your mind. You are the Holy Son of God, Holy Buddha. You know the truth. you are, but when we fell asleep, then what happened when we fall asleep, we projected our form, our spirit seemed to project, split our mind and go into a form. We are no longer at the beginning. The beginning is called the 0 point, or the still axis point, where we did this. We believed in all these forms and projected life into all these forms. They were, I think, it's kind of like a movie screen. You kind of think they're 3D, but because picture, what if you got up out of your chair and went and walked into the movie screen, got into the movie screen? That's what we've done. We put ourselves into the movie, into the dream with them. We're in there playing with them. So Jesus says, your starting point is truth. That's in chapter 3, section 7, paragraph 5. You must return to your beginning. Much has been seen since then, but nothing has really happened. Listen to that. Because it's a dream. We made it up. Nothing's really happened. Again, we don't put ourselves in harm's way. Yourself is still in peace, even though your mind is in conflict. You have not yet gone back far enough, and that is why you become so fearful. As you approach the beginning, you feel the fear of the destruction of your thought system upon you as it were the fear of death. There is no death, but there's a belief in it. Now, see what's happening when it's Holy Spirit's having me go back, inward in my mind. The great ray is a tunnel or a tube. When people say they had a near-death experience, what they really, and they say, and they saw the light down the tunnel and heard the voice says, not your time. To me, that means they were looking up in their great ray, which is a tunnel, a tube, a ray, a cord. And at the end of the cord is the Holy God, the light, the white light that they saw. They saw the light, and they heard the voice that says, it's not your time. Well, that's the beginning. At the top of that great ray, when enough of the mind's been purified of thoughts of separation from God, and all these directions have been purified, you're back at the beginning, and you live from that pure, clear light is in your mind. And you see it radiating out of all the forms of people that are walking around. And so he says here, you have not yet gone back far enough. And that is why you become fearful. As you approach the beginning, you feel a little fear. Now, see, the other night when Holy Spirit had never really had me go downward, where he took, I'm telling you, it's like my head's drawn downward. And I know that means inward, but, and it was, I knew that was I'm not kidding. While this is going on, I'm realizing, hold it, I'm not kidding. I'm thinking, he took me right and left. He took me up. He took me front and back. Now he's taking me on the downward direction. So I totally got, he's cleaning us all up. And don't you know, in a split second, I had a little fear. And then Holy Spirit said, it's okay. We're going to do this a few more times. Because see, I'll get used to it. And while I can't say exactly in that meditation, but still in meditation and during the day, I will practice Jesus' advanced forgiveness on what shows up in my face. I am not asking you all to do things I don't do. I do that to this day. Because see, those images that show up in front of your face, or that show up in a dream when you wake up, or later when you come back from meditation, journal who you were thinking about, who came up, practice advanced forgiveness on them, because each of those images represents all the lifetimes you've ever had, a person that fit that personality. For me, that's what that person represents. That is simply not that person. That's not your relative or a politician or whatever. That is a big deal. So you practice forgiveness on them because unconsciously, judgments we've had and all those lifetimes are in your unconscious, and you can't get to that. But if you do your forgiveness work on what shows up in front of your face, then Holy Spirit can heal the unconscious skill. And I think that's part of this vision and light that he's moving through me and in my mind. See, I don't understand any of that. I just go with it. Whatever he does, he does. So the other thing that's happening is I'm going back. The Buddhist Dzogchen Lama Surya Das calls it the beginningless beginning. Because in essence, this was a dream, a sitcom, hallucination. This never damn happened. But in our mind, it did. So we're going to go back. We have to purify our mind. That's the purpose of this whole course, all these lessons. Like Jesus says once in a while, just let go of all thoughts, all images in your mind. Yeah, right. Just try that. You can pull it off maybe for a holy instant. Then you'll do it for a few holy instants. Then you'll do it more and more and more, because that's what's happening. We're practicing advanced forgiveness to think of our brother's spirit, which is this invisible light, clear light, which is what you'll, so anyway, we're going back to the beginningless beginning, or the groundless ground, to where we had no judgment, where we see all our brothers as whole, pure, and innocent. That's super, isn't it? So anyway, let's see what else happened. What came through here that might be of help to you is, a star. Now see, how's our time? Oh, see, I never know what'll show up in my mind. Never. And I go like, what? And I see, I'm thankful that I don't get startled. I'm pretty, here I get kind of animated about it. But when I'm looking at this stuff, I'm watching, because later I write it down. So, and I know there's a meaning to these things. And it's showing me where I've been and maybe where I'm going. I haven't quite got its combination, but anyway, so let's see, Monday, last Thursday. Oh, when that pulling down vision was going on, there showed up in my mind a solar system, but there was a specific bright star in the middle of it. and it's in the middle and it's brighter. And I'm going, he's showing me a star. So, and then I looked in the Course, what Jesus says. Jesus tells us a star signifies the time of Christ has come who is host to God. So you see a star in your mind, it's a big deal. You're on the right path to freeing up your mind. He also says, outside you there is no eternal sky. Outside you there is no eternal sky, no changeless star, and no reality. The star shines still. The sky has never changed. But you, the Holy Son of God himself, are unaware of your reality, meaning you're a star and you're the host of God. He goes on to say, give the Holy, to be aware of the star, that's in chapter 30, section 3, paragraph, 11, sentence 3, is the part about the star shines still, the sky's never changed, but you, the Holy Son of God, are unaware of your reality. Then in chapter 15, section 11, XI, paragraph 3, Jesus says, to be aware of the star, he says, give the Holy Spirit everything that would hurt you. Leave nothing behind, for release is total. So what's great about meditation, thoughts will come to you that you can later write down and forgive, because that Holy Spirit will bring up unconscious thoughts. As you do your work, he brings up unconscious thoughts. There's no accident, whoever shows up at the grocery store line or anywhere. But in your practice, be aware of your thoughts. You want to give the Holy Spirit everything that would hurt you, meaning any negative thoughts you've ever thought you had, or like a few weeks back, Holy Spirit had me look at my childhood for a couple of instances where I was not that nice. And I'd forgotten about them. To see what happened, I'd done enough forgiveness work. I was secure enough, he could show me this stuff without me getting all upset, about what? I forgot I did that. But when you're, even adults, we don't always act righteous and all that stuff. But that's in chapter 15. Okay. Oh, then how do you practically live this? So how's the rubber hit the road? So when I'm out, when I'm driving, I'm always careful. But in a parking lot, I'll sit there and I'll practice on people and myself. But I went out to do an errand the other day. I was returning an item to Amazon, and you do a return and you get a barcode. And I'm disciplined enough that I double checked that the barcode would show up on my phone before I got to the UPS store, because I didn't want to hassle, right? Well, the barcode was there. So I'm going, great. I get to the store to give her the package, and I look in my phone for the barcode. It won't come up. So then I look at my email and check the link again and press on it. Doesn't come up. She tries to help me, and I call Amazon. Oh, wait. Yeah, I call Amazon because they don't have Wi-Fi at the UPS store. So I couldn't go into my account, blah, blah, blah. But what was great, guys, is that I wasn't upset. Woohoo! What was great was I would just simply there going, well, I was saying, like, I looked at this before I left home. I'm not kidding, it was there. But I couldn't get it to come up. The Amazon lady couldn't really help me because I need to be home at Wi-Fi, blah, blah. So I just thanked the woman for helping me and said to myself, I just wasn't supposed to do this errand right now. I mean, that's that deal, right? Now, my olden years ago, I would be trying to figure that out, just really wallering it around. How do we get this straightened out? Blah, blah, blah. I would have probably been upset. No. That's just not supposed to do it that day. So I had another errand here. It's called Vieira up here that I drove to do an errand. And where I went, don't you know, there was another shopping center with a UPS store. So I thought, well, I'm going to sit here in my car. Oh, I forgot to say, I turned this over to Holy Spirit. I sat in my car and I was watching my mind, and a thought came to me of something to do. And so I did it on my phone, and up showed the barcode. So I was able to walk into that store and return my package. And so when I was telling the lady at the desk, I said, I've just been at another UPS store. The barcode wouldn't show up a while ago. And I told her about it at home. I looked it up. She says, here's what you do. When you get the barcode to show up, even that first time, take a picture of it. See, on my laptop, when you do a return, you can see the barcode there. You can take a picture there. Or when you call up your email and it's on your screen, she showed me how you can press the power button and the volume up button and take a screenshot of what's on your phone, right? There would have been the barcode. Now I would go into my pictures then and show it to her, right? So that lady was real kind at the UPS store, and the other one was too. But I now know how to get a copy of that barcode. But the point of this story is we have a daily life we live. So how am I going to live it? With Holy Spirit, with my Christ Buddha self, or with ego? Now, as soon as I can, if I had got upset, I'm good enough now, I would go, hold it. I'd come right back off of that deal. Back up, back up, stop. Because that's how good you'll get from your feelings and your mood. Something's amiss here, not going quite right. And then you back off of it, stop, Holy Spirit, help me, guide me. And then just pause, and it'll happen another day, or I'll do it another day. You get the idea. So this becomes practical. We're not doing things here that are foo-foo, like not practical. This is so practical because it's a calmer life. And what's happening, I'm also learning to go with the flow. See, the flow wasn't working. It's like the sky gazing or letting thoughts come and go when you meditate. That's gonna let that thought go, and it's gonna pass. There'll be another day. This too shall pass. There'll be, and tomorrow I can go try that again. Who's telling me I got to go do that right now? That's ego, forcing, pushing, cramming things. If you feel confused, frantic, in a panic, try to back. Now, don't get me wrong. The ego can be good for your safety. Somebody asked one time, a holy monk or somebody, how much ego do you really need? And he replied, just enough so you don't walk out in front of a bus. Now, because ego will keep you safe. You're not going to walk out in front of a car. You're not going to stick your hand. You're going to be careful when you cut the vegetables, when you're making dinner. It's called alert and mindful. That's the other great deal about meditating. You become mindful of your thoughts. You're alert to your thoughts. You're in charge. You are becoming in charge, and you begin to flow with what things are showing up in front of you. Like when I go for a walk, I never know what neighbors are going to come out, what dogs are going to be there, what cars are going to try to zip around another car. It's all safety and being alert. So it's practical. Anyway, how are we doing? Anyone have a question that you want to have something? We're still recording. Now this is even how in a dream, I had a dream that I was with a person sitting in the grass, and don't you know, a flying saucer showed up by a tree, and this person and I are looking at it, and the flying saucer goes off into the sky, and this person and I go, well, normally you don't get to see something like that. That was the comment. And that's all there was to that dream. Then I went to something else. And then one time in meditation, these white forms showed up on the black surface. Now, I'm here to swear by it. The black surface contains light, and it is very significant. It has a radiance and anyway, in vision. but white round balls showed up. And now I'm realizing things in 3 dimension are showing up in my mind. There was a strand of connected white pearls. But then what's so neat is, you know how when you plant a seed, a little sprout will come up, a little stem, and there'll be a little bud on it. There were 3 or 4 little stems with buds on them that were waving in the air like. And then there was like a white shrub or a tree. And let's see what, and there was a mandala, a round circle with 2 lines in the middle of it. And prior to that, this is crazy to me, guys. But see, what that's telling me is I'm about to get to the root of it, the root, the beginning. And I'm about to sprout my little Christ Buddha bud, you know, the little baby. It just, you know, it's starting to sneak through because of this advanced forgiveness work, meditation, and turning my day over to the Holy Spirit. But then, you know, in Buddhist, they have like a prayer wheel. It's a little item they turn, and it's round and it spins, it turns. I saw a yellow golden brass prayer wheel. It was turning. You could see its sides, and you could see how they had it tilted. I could see the top of it. And then this is very powerful to me, is in this Buddhist or whatever, I'm not sure, it could be Hindu, there's the word Indras, I-N-D-R-A-S, net, N-E-T. Picture, we're all interconnected, like a fishing net. I've talked about this before. The fishing net, there's squares, but the square, the line between 2 squares, we share it. There's no 2 separate lines right there. That fishing net, it's called Indras net. I've seen it before. It's shimmering yellow golden mesh, a mesh net. 2 different, in one, in that same meditation, a net showed up, but this time the net showed up, on a partial round ball. You see that getting to the earth kind of. But what I want to get at is just the other day, though, what happened in my meditation, it showed like a earth, a planet, but the outside was totally wrapped with that Indras net that was white with black lines separating the fishing net, you know, all the squares. So picture this whole earth is just covered with this beautiful net. It's really shimmering golden yellow net. That's all of us. All our Christ beings are all interconnected, meshed together, but some are asleep and some are awake. And when you do any type of meditation in a holy instant, join with a light, that light radiates out and helps all your brothers. Oh, and the third thing that's really helped me make improvements in my awakening is this empathy and compassion for my brothers, and thinking about that I want to help them wake up and have them. So when I'm saying I want to awake within my dream and grasp the fact that I'm dreaming, the rest of those sentences are that I may help the likewise images awake. Let's see, what's it say? Awaken from ignorance and confusion. Because see, then what got put with it is my brothers. That's my wish, to help my brothers. Because it's no longer me trying to wake the hell up. Because you will make much bigger progress if you open your heart to be loving and compassionate. Put yourself in another person's shoes, like that person that maybe cutting you off when you're right on the freeway or on wherever. They could be having a medical emergency, trying to get to the hospital to help somebody. You're just always just watching in your rearview mirror, letting people go. I'll slow down. I'll back right up and let them. I see them in my rearview mirror. I'll let them come all around me, or I'll pull over sometimes. Just let them go on, because I don't want to delay them. I don't know. But the thing is, this opening your heart, we can't, but again, we can't fix anyone. I'm not saying that at all. But you have more empathy, then you're less judgmental on your brother. Because before you know it, I can have a judgment thought about that guy cutting me off in traffic. That gets stored in the one mind. That's karma. For every action, there's a reaction. I'll have to heal that. I'll have to forgive that. It'll come up. If I want it to come up, because I don't want any thoughts of judgment. So I have empathy, with and be a compassionate Christ, a compassionate Buddha, instead of an enraged one where we're adamant about things and crazy about stuff. No. So we meditate and learn to master the mind. But then when we come out in the world, you may be guided for some activity. I don't know if it's to donate to somebody, service in your community. I don't know. Help a family member, help somebody, bring a meal to somebody. I don't know. But you get the point. So now before we close, though, let's practice Jesus's advanced forgiveness from the Course. Pick 3 people on the screen and say to them, you can say all of it, which is just 3 words, or you can say, you are spirit, whole, pure, and innocent. All is forgiven and released. 3 people, then you're going to practice on yourself here in a minute. Now to yourself, say all of it, or I am a mortal spirit. This body is a false image and has nothing to do with what I am. Yay. Now, okay, anyone have a thought before I stop the recording here? It's 8:06 Eastern time. Okay. All right. Well, thank you everyone for being here tonight. It's sure beautiful. I love seeing all your shining, beautiful faces. Thank you for what you're doing to practice. You can unmute and say bye to each other or whatever you want to do.
Okay, bye-bye. Yeah. Thank you so
Bye,
much,
Joanna.
Glenda.
Oh, and
Yeah,
you can
thank
stay.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Glenda.
Everybody.
Thank you. So nice to see
I have to
everybody. I
go.
love you all.
I have to go. I love you all. I love
Oh,
you.
we love you, Joanna. Thank you, honey.
Mm.
Thanks. Oh, look, there's Holy Son of God Joyce and Brian. Holy Son of God Brian came in later. Hi there. And Debbie Thomas, Holy Son of God Debbie. And Corrine, Holy Son of God Corrine. Hi there, you guys.
Hello.
We're here another Tuesday night. There's Edward's cat. Oh, God. Now, here's a thought that somebody presented to me, and I'm not sure if I'm still thinking about it, wondering what to do. She thought about having a separate meeting, or maybe it could be the same meeting, excuse me, where it's not recorded, and a person could, in 3 minutes, bring up something they want the group to practice forgiveness on or give them insight about. I don't know. So what do you guys think of something like that? Like that idea? Or
Can you say it again, Glenda?
it would be not recorded, and a person could talk for 3 minutes explaining something they're having difficulty with, or they got a question on, and getting input from the group, and asking us to also maybe practice advanced forgiveness on the item or the situation or person with them. Something like that. That's what came up.
So it would be something we could do like right now, right? Like if
well, you know,
someone
that is
wants
true.
to do that.
Yes, Julia,
Yeah.
that is true. Could be even like in this chat.
Except we're still recording.
No, I think
Oh,
she stopped.
Oh, did I?
No.